Hey there, vinyl community people, all my music loving friends. It's a Saturday here in the Metro West section of Boston, and I was out for a run this morning. No snow here, but lots of sunshine, so it's a big improvement from a week ago. And when I'm out running, the thoughts get going, like a mouse on a wheel, as the saying goes. So this morning, I don't know, I thought, did I see a video a year or so ago? I don't know who posted it. Like guilty pleasures kind of thing. So I thought that's pretty hilarious, and I don't have to put a lot of thought into that because I know what those are. Now, you could argue we like what we like, right? So, but if you're a collector like I have, I've been my whole life, you can be a bit of a music snob at times, and that's not very nice to make fun of what people like I do with Patty. It's just friendly jabs, folks. So anyway, I thought I'd do one of those kind of guilty pleasures video today. I'm going to just show a dozen. These are things that, I might have liked when I was a child. I still like today, so that's why I've still got them. So anyway, let's dive right into these and have some laughs. All right. The Garage Geek will be envious of this. There she is. It's Babs. It's Barbra Streisand. Yes, that's probably going to surprise a lot of you. And I actually paid money for this. I got it in a dollar bin a few years ago. Excuse me. I'm choked up about Babs. So just is self-titled. This is 1974. There's a lot of good stuff here. The Way We Were, of course, from the movie. Summer Me, Winter Me, Pieces of Dreams. Being at War with Each Other. It's Something So Right. It's Barbra Streisand. There she is, looking good. 1974. Any more photos on this side? There is not. Just Barbara. Just on the cover. There she is. Nothing really on the back. A little silhouette of Babs. So yeah, Barbra Streisand kicking off this great list. Look at. And now we're heading over to Sweden. These guys made a comeback last year. I forget what it was called. The big comeback album that they did, and it apparently it's one of the best-selling records of all time on vinyl, because they're tracking that now with the comeback resurgence of vinyl collecting. So I guess the pressing of that, whatever it's called, I don't know, it was called Voyage or something like that. Voyager, maybe. Someone could help me out with that one. I don't know. It's just ABBA. What can you say about it? This is volume 2. I do not have volume 1. That's eluded me. But, they're all here. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Knowing me, knowing you. Money, money, money. Dancing Queen. Does Your Mother Know? It's just that infectious ear candy, if you will. There they are on the inside. It's like Bjorn's going for a run there. Working out. I think that's Bjorn. I get the two guys mixed up. There's Frida. Frida actually had a solo album, Something's Going On. That was a single, and Phil Collins played drums on that. You could look that up if you're so inclined. She had that solo album around 1981, 82. But the rest of them, I don't think it did any solo stuff. So that's ABBA, Greatest Hits, Volume 2. So when I was a kid in the 70s, I'm talking not a teenager, just a child, it was all AM radio, that was it. And, we had a cottage, and it was kind of in a remote area in Eastern Ontario. And you'd get this one radio station, and they'd play a lot of stuff like this. And I quite like it. David Gates was the singer. And another one of these, this is volume 2. Where's volume 1, right? Got to find that. But again, you can find these are $1 or $2 records at any record show or store. That's where you usually find this stuff. But, it's not that bad. And again, top 40 AM radio hits from the 70s. Any of the yacht rock stuff that, you hear about that, Bread's going to be on a playlist, right? So on this one, you got Guitar Man, Being Too Long on the Road, Daughter. I have a daughter, so, there you go. And London Bridge. So that's Bread. You can see there's David Gates down there in the bottom. Of course, he was the lead singer. This is a gatefold. Yeah, and there's some pictures of the band. That doesn't scream 1974. What does, right? That's Bread, Best of, Volume 2. 1974 on Elektra Records. All right, this is from my dad's collection. He had a ton of this. I have a ton of it still buried in the vault back here. It's orchestral pop, easy listening, whatever you want to call it. It's the Ray Conniff Singers. This is totally mid-60s, 64, 65-ish. It's like a soundtrack for the TV show Mad Men. You know, so Ray Conniff, he had his orchestra, and then he had his singers, like a chorus. And there's just some standards on this, like Autumn Leaves, Dancing in the Dark, not the Bruce Springsteen version. You know, Whatever Will Be, Que Sera, Sera, and then on the back, here's a list of other Ray Conniff albums you might enjoy. Quite a catalog, and I've got most of these, but you know, the Ray Conniff Christmas album, everybody, we just got through the holidays, but that was always a popular one at my house when I was a child. My parents were much older, so they weren't into rock music. This was it, jazz and this kind of stuff, which is fine. You know, it's very pleasant in the background, and it's my go-to on a Sunday afternoon. I'll throw on a Ray Conniff album. I mean, these are all in mint condition. My dad's stuff, of course, it was on the Columbia label, and always on the cover, it was never a picture of Ray, the orchestra, the band leader. It was always some beautiful woman, and this is no exception. There's one right there, beautiful blonde. And yeah, you can see there on Columbia, it looks like I've replaced the inner sleeve on this one. The old Columbia logo. So that's Ray Conniff Singers. And the title of that one, So Much in Love, right? Right. Okay, moving into a little more contemporary, if you will. This release date on this one's 1980. It's called Voices. It's Hall & Oates. It's Daryl Hall and it's John Oates. So this was before they really, really excelled in the 80s. There's a couple of hits on this, but there's no Private Eyes on this one. Let's see what's on the inside here. No track listing on the jacket. Just there's Oates. What do we got here? You Make My Dreams. Every Time You Go Away. I'm going to talk about that song with another artist later in this video. Diddy Doo-Wop. Like they're from Philadelphia. They had that Philly soul vibe going on, and I just really like it. Kiss on My List was the big hit on this one, and there you can see it's Kiss on My List. There's the lyrics if you want to sing along, and that's Voices. It's Hall & Oates. I've got a few Hall & Oates. I got nothing against the guys. And in fact, I really enjoy, I don't know if they're still making new episodes, live at Daryl's house. He has a home studio, like an old farmhouse in upstate New York. Always a special guest, and it's great. Great. Look, they're all on YouTube, all the Live at Daryl's house. So this is a 12-inch single. A lot of people were dismissive of these guys at the time, but I quite like it. Just thought I'd show something different than a 12-inch single. I actually have the album Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, which was a double album. Lead singer was a guy named Holly Johnson. And again, this was their big song, Relax. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, right? And on the back there, you can see the band right there. And Holly Johnson, yeah, he's on the right there. And there, this dude looks like he's in the Village People. But yeah, kind of freaky cover art on that. A lot of people, again, dismissive of these guys, but I like it. And this has two versions of Relax on this one. There's a 7-inch version and the long version, and then there's actually an instrumental if you so desire. So 3 versions of Relax on this 12-inch single, and it's Frankie Goes to Hollywood. 83, 84, the release on that one. All right, Herb Alpert. This is without the Tijuana Brass. Release date on this one, 1979 on A&M. He put the A in A&M. It's Herb Alpert. And Jerry Moss, of course, with the M. So this was kind of his, it was the end of the disco era, and this kind of has a disco vibe to it. The title track, Rise, it clocks in at around 7.5 to 8 minutes. It's a really good, you can picture yourself just sliding across the dance floor, and that's what it's meant for. This is nothing like Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. It's just him with a bunch of different sidemen. But yeah, Street Life is another one on this that's good. And there's actually a song called 1980 on this, on side 1, before he goes into Rise. So yeah, another guilty pleasure here. It's Herb Alpert without the Tijuana Brass, and it's called Rise. 1979. All right. When I was a kid, it was Journey and Kiss, straight up. That's pretty much what I lived on between like 5th grade and before I went to high school. I was big into Journey. I've got a ton of it, and I'm not ashamed of it. I like it. I've not seen him in the current incarnation. I can't think of the name of the guy from the Philippines, the new singer, but he's a dead ringer for Steve Perry on the vocals. anything stuff I've seen on YouTube, live clips. This is a live album, double live. They were captured live. They always had that same kind of cover art, and just on the nice gatefold. You can see on the inside. There you go. There's Greg Raleigh right there. He played with Carlos Santana, so keyboards and vocals. He on Santana. Don't ask me to name which songs he sang. Maybe Black Magic Woman. I can't think of what other ones. But Greg Raleigh did sing and play keyboards with Carlos Santana at Woodstock even too. So yeah, just a lot of cool photos of the band here. Midday sunlight coming through here. But yeah, great band. I'm a big fan. And on this one, you've got Lovin' Touchin' Squeezin', Wheel in the Sky, Any Way You Want It. This is earlier journey before they really took off into the 80s. This is 1981, and they had enough material at this point to do this double live album, and it's really good. Walk Like a Lady's another one. Feeling That Way. Yeah, it's great, man. And there's a cool picture of a photo of Neil Schon. Yeah, good guitarist right there, Neil Schon. So yeah, it's Journey, and it's captured 1979. All right. Wasn't enough that I showed you Ray Conniff. I'm going to show you a Bert Kaempfert album too. German band leader, Bert Kaempfert and his orchestra. There he is, and his orchestra right there. Living it up. And, you know, clearly that's what these two are doing right there. They're on the beach. I don't know if they're going to go snorkeling. They're just having a great time. As the title says, they're living it up. Yeah, I mean, my dad was a big fan of this stuff, and I like it too. It's no denying it. Gentleman Jim is a good one on here. They do a version of Duncan Shane, Dutch Treat, Tipsy Gypsy. Again, like I said, on a Sunday afternoon, throw this on, and just like they would, they hype all his other stuff here, which I have most of those too. Anytime you're in Metro West, stop by and I'll play you some Bert Kaempfert. And of course, on the Decca label, let's see here. Yeah, so there's a promo on the inside of all the other artists on Decca. And there you go, in stereophonic sound. Oh, there's the Decca logo right there. Yeah, that's an original, of course. Not that any of this stuff was repressed. I don't think it had demand like that. But yeah, this was my dear old dad's stuff. And I, again, if I didn't like it, I'm a sentimental guy, but I'm not that sentimental because it comes down to space. I would have got rid of this stuff, but I like it too much. So it's Bert Kaempfert and his orchestra. Moving into the realm of opera. Never see any of this in the vinyl community, but you do see this record. You see this in $2-3 bins at record shows everywhere. And this is a double of the maestro himself, Luciano Pavarotti. Of course, it's called the Greatest Hits. Not that a lot of opera singers had hits, but there's a couple on here you may recognize. Around the time of his death, they played Nessun Dorma a lot. I think he passed in around, I think it was 2007 that he died, yeah. And what's another one on here? Ave Maria too, of course. But there he's dressed up as a clown. Looks like a happy clown. Usually clowns creep me out, but that looks pretty funny with the path there. And then here's a bunch of just different shots of him on stage in various operatic productions. The Maestro, and that's Pavarotti Greatest Hits. I could have shown that one actually in my 12+1 Greatest Hits. Again, thank you to all the people that are putting those videos up. I never expected that to take off like it did, but there it goes. That's what happens in the vinyl community. I've mentioned before, I'm a big Neil Diamond fan. This should shock no one. But this is a really good one. I have a lot of Neil Diamond, but this is a really good one, recorded live at the Troubadour Club in Los Angeles, 1969. And this, some of his biggest hits on the time, and these really translate well live. I can't imagine being at a smaller club like the Troubadour. This would have been a trip. Of course, Sweet Caroline, that's the name of my daughter. Didn't name her after that song, but just coincidental there. And the Joni Mitchell song, Both Sides Now, there's a really great version of that on here too. And Kentucky Woman too, which was later covered by Deep Purple, right? Who would have thought a band like Deep Purple would cover Neil Diamond? But that's the world of music, folks. Anything can happen. It's Neil Diamond Gold, again, recorded live at the Troubadour, Los Angeles, California. And lastly, when I was talking about Hall & Oates there, I mentioned that, was it Come Back and Stay? What was the Hall & Oates tune on here that was covered? I think it's on a different Paul Young album. But anyway, sorry for that distraction. This album is 1983, and if you want to see a good performance of Paul Young, look up the Live Aid show from Wembley. He did a great job. At the time, this was top 40, but he's got that soul vibe like Hall & Oates does with his band and everything. There's a horn section, and this is just really good. Come Back and Stay opens this album up. Love Will Tear Us Apart, not the Joy Division one. Iron Out the Rough Spots is an interesting track, and Love of the Common People. It's Paul Young, No Parlay, and yeah, I have another album, his Secretive Association, I believe it's called, and I think he does that Hall & Oates cover on there. And again, I just said the song 10 minutes ago. You'd think I'd remember it, but it's just flying over my head here. But anyway, this is number 12 on this Guilty Pleasures list, and it's Paul Young, No Parlay. At the time, I was into mostly new wave and alternative music, but I did like Paul Young, and that's why I have it. So it's No Parlay. So that's just a quick video today, folks, just spur of the moment. Thought it was kind of comical. And hey, if you want to make this a thread, that'd be cool too. Why not? Because I know everybody out there, everybody has guilty pleasures, whether you want to admit it or not. And, you know, I like disco too, 70s disco stuff. So everybody said disco sucks. But when I was a kid, that's, you know, you heard in the background. And yeah, I can dig it. It's what you like, folks. Nothing to be shy about. Anyway, midday Saturday, weather's really great. So enjoy your weekend wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Enjoy your guilty pleasures.